All right, let's talk about something that's been shaking up the political landscape lately. You might have heard about Abdul El-Sayed's big win in Michigan, but what does it really mean for the Democratic Party? Personally, I think this is way more than just a local election story. It's a massive wake-up call for the entire party, and here's why. First off, what makes this really interesting is that El-Sayed's victory isn't just about him. It's about a much bigger shift happening within the Democratic Party. For years, we've seen the left wing of the party gaining momentum, but it's always been kind of contained, right? Like, oh, it's just the coastal cities, it's just the big liberal hubs. But Michigan? That's a swing state, folks. And El-Sayed didn't just squeak by, he delivered a knockout blow to the establishment candidate, Haley Stevens. One thing that immediately stands out is how this challenges the idea that progressive ideas can't win in the Midwest. It's a game changer. Now, let's talk about why this matters. In my opinion, this isn't just about policy positions like universal healthcare or ending military aid to Israel, though those are huge. It's about the voters themselves. What many people don't realize is that this election reflects a deep frustration with the status quo. Voters are fed up with a system that feels out of touch, with leaders who don't seem to care about their struggles. Matt Duss, a former advisor to Bernie Sanders, put it perfectly: this is an anti-system moment. And it's not just in the US, we're seeing this kind of backlash in democracies worldwide. If you take a step back and think about it, this is part of a larger trend that started with Bernie Sanders in 2016. His campaign was like the Big Bang for the progressive left in the US. It didn't win the presidency, but it ignited something. Look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who went from bartending to becoming one of the youngest members of Congress. Or Zoran Mamdani, who beat an establishment favorite to become New York's first Muslim mayor. These aren't isolated incidents, they're part of a growing movement. A detail I find fascinating is how money played into this. Stevens had millions from outside groups, including a ton from AIPAC, which has become toxic for younger voters. Meanwhile, El-Sayed ran on a platform that directly challenged that kind of influence. This raises a deeper question. Can the Democratic Party continue to rely on big donors and corporate money when voters are clearly rejecting it? I don't think so. What this really suggests is that the party is at a crossroads. The old guard, the centrists, the moderates, are losing their grip. But here's the thing: progressives aren't just winning because they're louder or more radical. They're winning because they're speaking to real issues: the cost of living, corporate greed, foreign policy that doesn't align with voters' values. From my perspective, this isn't just a leftward shift, it's a realignment of what the Democratic Party stands for. Of course, this isn't going to happen without a fight. The centrists aren't going to hand over the reins easily. Groups like Third Way are already planning multi-million-dollar campaigns to discredit democratic socialism. And let's not forget the Republican playbook of branding progressives as radical Marxists. But here's the kicker: progressives are organizing smarter, building infrastructure, and resonating with voters in a way that moderates just aren't. This brings me to my final point. What does this mean for the future? The 2028 presidential election is already on everyone's mind. Names like Ro Khanna and AOC are being thrown around, but the real question is whether the party can unify behind a progressive vision. Personally, I think the writing's on the wall. The energy, the enthusiasm, the momentum, it's all on the left. And if the Democrats want to beat Trumpism, they're going to need more than just incremental change. They're going to need a bold, unapologetic vision for the future. So, what do you think? Is this the beginning of a new era for the Democratic Party, or just a temporary shake-up? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more analysis like this. Thanks for watching.